Welcome to Iron Summit, the podcast where we dive deep into the art and science of becoming your best self, blending expert insights on strength training, smart recovery, optimal nutrition, and mindset mastery to help you elevate your game.
What's up, guys? If you're looking to level up your training, click the link in the description and check out the Iron Summit Gains Emporium. Our strength training plans are designed to help you pack on muscle, and with our software, you can track every workout right from your phone. Plus, you'll have direct access to us for any questions along the way. Don't just train, level up your training.
We're live.
We're live.
Max, that background's pretty sweet.
Got some wood, nice wood in the background. It's always a good background when it's got wood.
It looks like fancy paneling.
Yeah, it's like a closet.
Okay.
Nice wood.
How's Costa Rica?
It's good, man. It's a great place. The cost of living down here is incredible. I think that probably speaks more to how expensive it is to live in the US, particularly Colorado. It's crazy right now. But even like I'll talk to local people that are like, don't go to that grocery store, it's expensive. I'm like, it is? Like everything's like half the price of where I live.
Is there a lot of like high quality stuff, or what do you like normal grocery stores?
It's obviously like if you buy local, then it's all super high quality. Mm-hmm. What's cool about Costa Rica, though, I think it's actually one of the major appeals to me, and I think it's one of the, like, a lot of fitness type people end up here. I know Paul Saladino lives here. There is just so much fresh local produce, meats, vegetables. Like Costa Rica produces a lot of kind of diversity from a food perspective. So yeah, if you buy local stuff, like the tropical fruits are obviously unbelievable. Avocados, beans, rice.
Yeah.
Red meat's pretty good. Tons of fish. The chicken is like, I don't know, it's just better down here. I normally don't really like chicken. But
really?
Like, yeah, no, I actually don't. I'll stand by that. I don't really like chicken.
You need a good sauce with it. Yeah.
Like I grilled some chicken breasts the other night and I was like, wow, that is delicious.
That's funny.
It's normally not the case.
Is the red meat a little different? Because last time I was in Mexico, I swear the steaks were like different. It was like a different type of cow.
Mm-hmm. I think red meat's different everywhere in the world outside the U.S. I will say if there's one thing the U.S. is amazing at, it's red meat. Like even here, the when you go to the butcher, like their highest line stuff is USDA prime. Here's the messed up thing though. The USDA prime steak here, so imported from the US to Costa Rica, is cheaper than the USDA prime steak at Costco.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Explain that.
I can't. I saw a chart the other day, like red meat prices have peaked. Like it's the highest they've ever been recently.
That's terrible. That's terrible news for everyone. Way to start off the podcast with some really bad news, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's, okay. To better things, maybe not. Today talking about 5 and kind of want to throw in a bonus one of like maybe the top things you hear that we just don't agree with, kind of in the fitness industry. This one, why it's more of a bonus one that I'll start with. I don't think it's more of like I don't know that it's like a
statement.
Yeah, it's more of a statement. I think one is like fitness takes a long period of time. So like when you're seeing an influencer that's saying like, hey, I will change your body in 30 days, like probably not going to happen unless you've never touched a weight, never done anything, and you like do a full 180, which even then you're probably not going to see it crazy.
So much in 30 days. Yeah.
Right. And then also like just being realistic about what you want to look like. Like you can have a really good physique naturally, but also like a lot of fitness influencers are on PEDs. And so just like keep that in mind. I think that's like worth knowing if you're like, hey, I'm chasing this certain look and, somebody's 315 pounds, you're like, yeah, I don't know if you're going to get there, man. And then the other one is like, what are you willing to sacrifice with this? Because I think there is a certain level of like lifestyle where like this risk reward ratio of like how much you want to change your diets and your habits. Like your favorite fitness influencers, it might be their full-time gig where they can work out 3 hours a day, where you're lucky to get in the gym, 2 days a week for an hour because you're busy. Like, you got to understand that too.
Yep.
So I think those are kind of my caveats to
What
in
we're gonna
general.
talk about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll throw one in there as well,
Okay.
is genetics.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a good point.
genetics plays a huge role. So, don't listen to anything Ryan and I say.
I do think it is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how much we like your growing up environment or like
Yeah, the
the
epigenetics,
prenatal. Yeah.
versus genetics. No, that's I think that what we're finding out is that's more and more, uh it's more and more impactful.
Yeah.
Like, epigenetics is super real. The only caveat with that is you don't really have a say in your epigenetics because it's really like, what did your parents expose you to? So, like,
Yeah.
you and I were fortunate enough to be doing combat sports from a really young age,
Right.
which, like, combat sports are gonna expose you to all kinds of resistance and, like, probably tilt your epigenetics towards the being more muscular, just like your body wants to carry that type of physique, whereas if you're like we had like when we had Cooper on the podcast, he was talking about like he had the kid who um didn't play any sports, never touched a weight his whole life, and then sophomore year of high school was like, I want to play Division 1 football. And Cooper's
Right.
like,
No way.
tough luck, man. Like there's so like I do think epigenetics plays a huge role, but it's not like you have a big say in your
Yeah.
epigenetics either.
That's fair. I guess you're not like aware enough at that age to
Yep.
make those decisions. And hopefully your parents were doing the right things, while you're in the womb and while you're growing up and stuff. But yeah, that's a good, I like that caveat as well.
Yep. Now, what we can do is say, hey, parents, start exposing your kids to athletic activities from a young age. And I know there's even like we talked about it when Alexis was pregnant. Like there's a bunch of stuff on like what the mom does while they're pregnant that has a huge impact. Like how much did they lift weights? What kind of
Yeah.
food did they eat? All of that plays a role. And then there's obviously it's probably 50-50 epigenetics and just genetic coding, but like obviously 50% of it is just like what deck of cards were you dealt? Who are your
Yeah.
parents?
I
That's
agree.
definitely a big thing.
Well, and I've also seen recently, like there's a lot of things talking about. I mean, obviously the mother is always super important, like the one actually growing the baby, but um, like the male plays a big role as well. Like if you're really healthy, 3 to 6 months before like your wife conceives, like that's like a big deal too. So yeah, I think there's a lot of factors, and then I mean, then you get genetic freaks that like their mom was smoking and drinking while they were pregnant,
And that
and then
means
they
that
come out and
50%, that 50% just genetic coding was really sweet
there are outliers in every, yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Well,
So
I know like I've talked to my coach Miller about it, and he used to coach college football, and he said you get kids coming in who never touched a weight in their life. These are Division 1 college football players living on like Doritos and Mountain Dew, and they're
right.
just like 6'3", 240, and 10% body fat,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
DK
well,
Metcalf, man.
yeah,
He's like the candy guy and he's like shredded. I'm like, this dude, like,
he
I
just
mean,
got a
yeah.
great deck of cards,
Right.
no doubt about it. No, but that is something when you're looking at like influencers and um, kind of like trying to emulate people. Like you got to understand that genetics plays a massive role in what you can accomplish. But we'll get into the more actionable things you can control. And I think these are the top five that, in no specific order, um, that piss me off when I.
I love it. Yep.
So we'll get first one is you can outtrain a bad diet. That one is patently false.
Yep.
You can't. Um, there's absolutely no truth to that. We've actually talked about this a lot lately, but the truth is that nutrition is really what drives body composition changes,
Right.
and the amount of caloric expenditure you get from either lifting weights, running, wrestling, uh, swimming, doesn't matter what kind of physical activity you're doing, is not even close to the caloric. It can't match your caloric intake. 500 calories is a hard workout, and 500 calories is a pretty small meal. Or like
or
a
a spoon of peanut butter.
yeah, exactly. Big spoonful of peanut butter, a Ryan Deacon size spoonful of peanut butter.
Live on peanut butter.
That being said, like you exercise definitely like amplifies the results, and it's a key piece of it.
Yeah.
And I think we'll actually kind of get into where it can make a really big difference a little bit more in this podcast. But it's not saying don't exercise, but if you are trying to affect your body composition, diet is where
Yeah.
the magic happens, not training.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's such a important point and something that we've probably talked about this before, but like a good analogy for um I mean, I guess strength training and cardio is like your strength training is like your long-term investing. That's like your compounding growth where cardio is like day trading. Um I think that, you know, obviously you should be working out. It's your long term, like build that engine and get your body good at like using nutrients and detoxing toxins and moving but at the end of the day, like you said, it's so easy to overeat, especially in today's environment. The one thing that I find not troubling, but I think there's like a fine line of is I think the easiest way to do like a diet is to eat like a dog, like literally eat similar things every day. And then it's easy to not overeat stuff. But then it's also healthy to have like variety in your diet and have different, micronutrients going in. So like obviously you can't eat the exact same thing every day. You'll probably have deficiencies in your diet unless you're like really monitoring it. But I think the best way to have a good diet is have some kind of consistency in your staples so that if I know what I'm eating for breakfast and lunch generally, I know like 70% of my day is going to be solid right away.
Yep.
Even if I go off the rails, the rest of the day.
Yep. I think that's a great way to do it. And I think if you're consistent in your diversity, you can kind of accomplish that. Like as long as you're making
Yeah.
sure you're consistently getting uh different fruits and vegetables in your diet, that's the part of diversity that matters for your like macronutrients. I don't think like having a lot of variance is as important.
Right.
Um like you can eat beef and rice for pretty much everything as long as you're it's my favorite way to do it. As long as you're like getting in a variety of vegetables and fruits with
Yeah.
that beef and rice. Um, or like whatever works for you. If it's chicken and rice, if you're a weirdo and you like chicken, then go ahead and eat chicken.
I like chicken. I'm gonna say it, Max. I do.
Like,
I'm not saying it's better than beef. No way would I ever stand on that hill. But good piece of chicken. Definitely get
like
behind
chicken
that.
breast or chicken thigh.
I like both. I think thighs are obviously tastier. I usually get breasts when I get chicken.
It's boring.
You you sound like you're a bad cook.
I'm an excellent chef. It's just I know like I know how much better beef is.
Yeah,
So then whenever I'm eating chicken, even like a sirloin, which is it's not quite as lean as chicken, but it's close.
it's
I'm like,
good.
I could be eating a sirloin steak right now.
I can taste the difference even like if I'm getting, like 95.5 ground beef versus like, I don't know, 90/10.
Oh, it's
Like
a
it
big
is so much better, even with just like a little bit more fat.
for sure. I do think this is kind of a tangent, but I do think there's a way to eat the fattier beef and still be really healthy.
I
You
agree.
just need to monitor your other fats. Where people go wrong in that approach is they eat the fattier beefs and then still are eating the peanut butter and putting butter, thick slabs of butter on. Now you're going to be way over
Right.
eating fat. But like on this recent cut I did where I lost 20 some odd pounds, I ate almost entirely red meat. I just got most of my fat from that red meat.
Yeah. That
Uh,
was something I wanted to talk about with Tyler a little bit.
mhm.
I didn't know how comfortable he was speaking on that stuff, but when he was telling us his macros, like his fats were super low. But then I thought about it. I'm like, if you're taking PEDs, your hormones are going to be fine regardless of if your fats are really low. So you
Yep.
can drop those calories. Where like maybe a good caveat if you went and listened to our last episode, don't like blindly follow a bodybuilder's diet because you don't know what they're
What they're
taking. Because
100%.
you
Yeah.
drop your fats to, I think he said like 40 grams.
Yeah, that's
Like
only
you
possible if
would be
you're, like,
bad.
a small woman
Yeah.
or if you're supporting your hormones with something else, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like, a natural bodybuilder has to eat a lot more fats to support endocrine, cycles, so then that just means they're eating less of other things, which means the carbs come way
Right.
down,
Right.
because you wanna keep that protein kinda similar. We've done breakdowns of how to do that.
Right.
But yeah, you can't out train a bad diet.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of wrap it into this one as well. But what also really pisses me off is when either both food companies or I see a lot of influencers, they promote like healthy, shitty food,
Yeah.
like organic candy bars.
Yeah.
It's like just because the quality of ingredients is better doesn't mean it's that much better for you. Um, so, and I'd kind of lump that into this. You can out train a bad diet.
I think about that too with I got two things said.
Actually,
I guess
that's better on one of our future our other
Yeah,
points.
that's fair. Let's cover that later. One last thing on the out training a bad diet, but the hormone stuff as well. Like we're talking about extra fats. This is totally anecdotally, but like in college when I was cutting weight, I definitely was craving like eggs, peanut butter. Like my body knew when I was cutting weight, like it needed more fats, and I don't know if that I realized it at the time, but the second I was done cutting weight, like those things weren't as I don't know, grabbing to me. They weren't like, oh my gosh, I like need this. Um, so it is amazing how our bodies kind of steer you towards what
Yeah,
you
100%.
need a little bit too. Um, but yeah, we can talk more on the organic, non-organic stuff later.
Yeah,
Next one. I
this is
think this is such a funny one.
this one really gets me.
So like lifting weights will make you bulky. It's just blatantly false. And if you've spent any time lifting weights, you're like, I wish that was the
This
case,
is
that it was just easy to
insulting.
get
Yeah.
bulky. It's like you could go years and years lifting weights to put on, 5 pounds. But I do think this is something that I will say, like a positive side is this has definitely changed a little bit. Like you go to the gym now, I don't know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there's a lot more, especially like females that were like just cardio all the time. And now like girls are getting after it. They're lifting and they're like squatting heavy, deadlifting, like they're getting after it. So it's good. It feels like this narrative's changing.
It is changing. Yeah, I think on this one, yeah, you're right. The truth is it takes years to add muscle tissue and back to the point on the, kind of on our first on you can't out train a bad diet. You can't out train a bad diet in the short term, but if you lift weights long term, you can support a worse diet,
Yeah.
maintain a good physique because you have more of that engine, more of the muscle mass to burn the calories. But yeah, I hate this one. I actually heard it recently down here in Costa Rica. A guy at the gym was like, "Oh yeah, you local guy was like, you love lifting weights." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't really lift weights. I do mostly calisthenics because I want to stay athletic." I was like, "Well, that makes no sense." Like,
Did you just say whatever and keep moving, or did you say I
no,
got
I
time
didn't
today?
argue with him. I was like, oh, "Okay, cool. You have no idea what you're talking about."
You just say I do calisthenics too. That's why I'm bulky.
Yeah, yeah, you actually got that wrong, man. Calisthenics make you huge. No, it's such a farce. And then like to wrap in the previous point into this one, like no, lifting weights doesn't make you bulky, but if you lift a ton of weights and smash calories,
Yeah,
but like what you do paired with the weight training, like from a nutrition perspective, that's what changes your physique, not the lifting weights by itself. Like we were talking to Tyler, he's in a hardcore bodybuilding prep and he's doing the exact same workouts
yeah.
that he was doing when he's doing a hardcore bulk just because it's what works for him and he's comfortable with it. Like it's
And
not
he's
for
dropped
training.
40 pounds,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he was 315. He's 274 now.
Yeah. Burning calories is burning calories, whether you're lifting weights or walking on a treadmill. And you can burn calories through lifting weights pretty
Yeah.
dang efficiently. And actually, you burn calories and you preserve your muscle mass when you lift weights. So yeah, the lifting weights will make you bulky. We'll just don't need to spend a ton of time on that one because like I do think you hit it right on the head. It's definitely kind of being dispelled. Like the secret's out for all the girls. Like if you want to look good, lift weights instead of walk. But yeah, that's a one that's definitely it's still around.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing too that is hard maybe is like they're like, okay, I'll lift weights, but I don't want to lift heavy weights. And it's like, it's not going to put on all this crazy muscle. You'll actually probably put on less muscle and look less bulky. You'll look more defined the way you're trying to look if you're working in those lower rep ranges
Yeah,
than
that's
if you're doing sets of, 15 to
such a
20.
good point. Like the kind of weight training that people are like, "Oh yeah, when I'm trying to lean out, I do higher reps." And like that's how you should lift if you're trying to get big. Like if
Right.
you're trying to maintain muscle mass and not do a bunch of like hypertrophy, you should be lifting like heavier lower reps.
Hmm.
Um yeah, it's that's Miller always says there's like two really efficient kinds of programs for dropping inflammation and leaning out. And one is like really short rest, where you're inherently limiting the amount of weight you can move
Yeah.
by taking like 30 seconds rest between sets. So more like circuit style training.
Hmm.
Like it's hard to inflict or inflicts the wrong word. It's hard to achieve hypertrophy in those conditions
Yeah.
or lifting heavy but not at a like an RP 10.
Mm.
But training really heavy is actually a very effective way to like lean out, drop inflammation,
Yeah.
and not be in a state of hypertrophy. Like where you do get the hypertrophy is doing those like 15 plus reps, but taking longer rests.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how we trained in college in season. It was like moderately heavy to pretty dang heavy. And you recover quickly because it's like you're not super sore. You weren't doing sets of 20 and the next day you can't walk.
Yep.
Um, and so your injury risk goes down and then you're maintaining muscle mass as you're like dropping your calories. I will say like you got to push yourself. Like when you're losing weight and you're throwing heavy weights, like there's going to be some weeks where you're like, ooh, I used to be able to get this for, it was a lot easier last week.
Yeah.
So there's that game. But yeah, I think it's a good point.
Yep. All right. Number three. This might be the one that pisses me off the most, which is you need supplements and like specific supplements, like some secret
Yeah.
combination.
What supplements do you take?
Yeah. That question or influencers who push supplement regimens.
Yeah.
Especially, oh man, the one that gets me the most is like greens powders or like
Yeah.
gut microbiome stuff. Not that those there's a place for them, but it's
Yeah.
not. You're not gonna like get rid of your pouch tomorrow by taking this
Yeah.
secret probiotic. Like this one really gets me. I think I yeah, and like you said, like what supplements do you take? The reason I think we get that question so much is because so much misinformation is pushed
Mhm.
on supplements and how effective they are.
Well, I think the crazy thing too is, um, I mean, most people you don't have an unlimited, discretionary income budget, and I think those dollars are better spent in other areas for a lot of people. I think there's like obviously we both take supplements. I think there's good
Mhm.
supplements. You got like proven stuff like fish oils and creatine and magnesium. The best thing you can do is go get blood tests and see what you're deficient in, and then take that. That'll have the biggest impact on your body. Um, But it is funny, like, you'd probably be better off spending that extra budget on higher quality foods or like, you know, some kind
Or
of recovery tool or,
yeah,
a gym membership that's at a different gym, I don't know, maybe hire a trainer. Like there's other levers that are bigger than like, and just the incentive for companies. Like obviously this is such a big push, like it's pushed so hard because it's like a recurring payment. It's the best kind of,
yeah, you
revenue
use
for a
it up.
company. It's like every 30 days this person's going to order all these pills. So obviously we're going to push everything to say that this is good and have everybody say it changed their life. Where in reality, even the ones that are highly tested, it's a very small edge that you get. Go get good sleep, follow your macros and follow a good training plan, it's going to do a lot more than any, supplement's going to do for you.
100%. And I think like your budget point is a good one, but there's also, I think you could like apply that budget to multiple things. There's like focus, time, and financial.
Yeah.
And like all of that, you are better spent focusing on number one, diet, number two, sleep, number three, training consistently. That's what's going to move the needle, not supplements. Now,
Yeah.
if you have diet, sleep, and training consistency dialed in, now you can start talking about what supplements. And we've done, look, we've talked about what supplements to take and how to use caffeine efficiently and what is creatine and how that is beneficial. But like, if you aren't doing those other three, then supplements are not good. Like, if you're not eating enough protein, like, I
Yeah.
don't care how much creatine you're taking, it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
You're
I
just
think
spending money.
there needs to be a healthy skepticism to supplements, especially because like most people that are like trying the crazy stuff, they're teenagers that are like looking for the cheapest thing that is like not highly tested. And you don't know if you're going to pop out, especially if you're an athlete on some drug test or you're taking some crap that's not good for you uh, because it was made in, some overseas place with, not great quality control. Um, and so just like I would do some research before you just start blindly taking something and being like, this is great for me. You don't know, like there's so many different, I think there was 60% of like things on Walmart's shelf that are supplements didn't have what was actually on the label in the
Yeah,
ingredients. Like you don't know what's in there for
or
a
I
lot of
saw
these.
I saw one on because like creatine gummies are so super big right now.
Right.
I saw something that like the highest selling creatine gummy on Amazon had like 10% of the creatine it said it had.
It's got like half a gram instead of five
Yeah.
grams.
Which, like, you're just literally just and those are probably I don't know, I'm gonna, like, maybe it's artificially sweetened, but probably had sugar in it, so then you're
Right.
just eating sugar.
Yeah.
Um, but if you are being consistent diet, training, and sleep, then supplements can have an impact, especially if you are, like you said, if you are getting your blood work done, kinda uh, tracking that stuff. But I would say if you're getting your blood work done, especially like the performance side of blood work, you're probably serious enough where you can start worrying about supplements.
Right.
Number one supplement I'd recommend to people is protein powder because it's not really a supplement; it's a food source, and it's going to help them hit their their protein uh, in an effective way. So yeah, that one's particularly inflammatory for me.
Well, and I think the other thing with supplements is like there is a camp of people that are, I mean, really smart people that are like, hey, these are just expensive pee. Like you shouldn't be taking this stuff. And then I think I fall more into the like, I wouldn't just take anything, but I do think like a general multivitamins, like, okay, if I'm peeing it out, cool. It's so cheap. Like it's worth covering your bases kind of thing.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. There's two sides to that coin. Like some people are like it's useless. Some people are like you really need to do it. I think there's definitely some stuff that is probably there's some good evidence that it's got some kind of effect and it's probably helpful. But like you said, it's not like this like silver bullet that's gonna transform your life.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas good diet, sleep, and consistent training will transform your life.
Yep.
100%. Not a sexy answer, but the truth.
Next one. We recently did a video on this. I think it was maybe episode 89,
Yeah.
maybe
Mm,
88.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in that, go check that one out maybe. Because we're not going to go obviously super deep in this, but like the whole crew that's like, hey, eating organic slash non toxic makes you a healthy person. And I think the avatar that I think about with this is like those people that are like, why would you eat that? Why would you do this? And then they're 50 pounds overweight, and it's like just because you buy the expensive whatever doesn't make you healthy, automatically. I'm not saying some of those things aren't good. Um, but yeah, there's definitely a disconnect on some of your habits if you're not healthy and you're, doing all these non-toxic organic stuff.
Yeah. And I'll take it like eating organic and then living a non toxic lifestyle. So worrying about what you're washing your clothes in, air purifiers, all that stuff. Like, just because you're doing that, I think this is a bit of the this is the farce that really gets me is like if you're doing that stuff, you're healthy,
Yeah.
which no, that's not true. Like if you're eating organic, but it's still in a caloric surplus, you're not healthy. If you're gaining weight, like there's very, very concrete evidence that being overweight is not good for your health. There's very, very sketchy evidence, if any, that eating organic is beneficial.
Yeah.
I do it, right? But like, I don't know if I would like put all my eggs in that basket. And then the other thing is like, if you're living a really, like, if you're really trying to be healthy and focus on living like a non toxic lifestyle, then you should definitely be making sure like if health is that much of a concern to you, then you should definitely be doing consistent exercise and have a locked in diet and be sleeping well because your health's important to you and like those things are going to move the needle on your health way more than anything else. Yeah, definitely listen because like the episode we did on this is like what levers you can actually pull on eating
Yeah.
organic or living a non-toxic lifestyle to actually move the needle. But I guess like the kind of like overarching truth here is that stuff might make a little bit of a difference, but it's not that's even if you were eating the right macros, sleeping well and training consistently, that's
Yeah.
going to have way more of an impact on your health than any non-toxic living.
Yeah. And I think like if somebody's in this camp, like it's awesome to like try to improve your life. I think incremental stuff adds up and that compounding effect is huge. Um, but there are bigger levers. And just because you do a certain thing like this doesn't make you automatically healthy. The other thing that kind of, um, I don't know, drives me a little bit nuts in this space is stuff that we label as like healthy or good. That's not that great for you. And I'm thinking about, and I'm saying this as a hypocrite. Like I take these things too, but like protein bars, some protein powders, like there's a lot of protein bars and protein powders that are just like, I mean, they have good macros, which is part of the equation and probably better than nothing, especially if you're on the road and you need something quick and you're going to
Right.
miss your protein target. But there's a lot that have, a lot of like gums in them and like just bad ingredients that can mess with your gut microbiome, mess with your stomach. A lot of people don't digest certain types of like health foods well like that. Um, and so just because it's healthy doesn't mean like I don't think you would be very healthy if you ate 6 protein bars a day. I think you'd be pretty healthy if you ate 6 pieces of chicken in a day. And there's like a
Yeah.
big difference between those two. Um, so
Yeah.
like just because it's labeled a health food or you can buy it at the grocery store or
Doesn't
your
make you
favorite
healthy.
influence, yeah, it drives me nuts.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. All right. This is maybe the other one, this next one that gets me really fired up.
Riled
But
up.
yeah. And this is when and this one I think is particularly rampant on social media, but that there's like a perfect program or exercise execution for everyone. And this is just patently false. I would say if you want to convince me that you know nothing about training, make a claim or a statement like that, because I think if there's one truth in training, it's that there's no one way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so I this one really riles me up. Like when people are like, "Do my program and actually see results."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's so much more complicated than that.
I agree. I think there's like general principles of like resistance training, certain rep ranges, like compound movements. But like you said, there's such a huge this is like back to that genetic factor. I mean, talking to Tyler last episode too, he's like, "Hey, I didn't recover well. I blew up muscle wise when I started like taking more rest." And I've heard that story from quite a few different people.
Yeah,
Um, and I think it's a real thing. Like if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, when you get that inflammation out or you get your stress levels out, like that's way different. Some people handle high volume stuff really well. Some people it like messes with their um, I don't know, inflammation, cortisol, stress levels, like it just doesn't work well for their body and it slows progress and messes with, digestion, metabolism, energy levels. and it's not a net add to your life like other training programs could be. I think that's why it is important to test things. Like this is just like cutting weight with wrestling. Like you eat something after weigh-ins, might make you feel great, makes your teammate feel awful. Like there's trial and error here. Um, and I think that part of this is just like you got to hop on the horse and try it. But there's always something new you can learn, and something that's kind of the fun thing about fitness is there's always something different you can try that you just try to keep stacking little bits that help you feel better and do better. But you got to give it a full go, because your first program might feel like crap for a week, and then you start to feel better with it. Like there's an adaptation phase as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as a general rule of thumb, if you're trying to sort through like what is crap and what is not,
Yeah,
like usually kind of the more simple the approach, the more tried and true it is, the better
yeah,
approach it is. It's what like I'll see like what really gets me on this is like someone's doing these crazy quote unquote functional exercises, which that's another we could have a whole big point on like functional exercises. Or like like jumping around with all this, like on a foam pad and all
yeah,
like that stuff might look cool, but it's probably not as effective as the tried and true methods. So yeah, I think like the truth here is fitness is highly individual,
yeah,
and what works for you is totally dependent on your goals, training age, lifestyle, and most importantly, what you enjoy doing.
yeah,
You enjoy standing on a foam pad and looking like a weirdo, then like do it because you're gonna exercise then,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
or if
think
you enjoy, like, squatting heavy ass weight, then do that.
right.
Just do what you enjoy and what works for you.
Yeah, whatever you're going to be consistent with. I think we've talked about this before too, but with fitness, I mean, social media, you also got to know what level you're at. Like if you're watching an NFL wide receiver doing something, it's probably highly specific to their training program. Just because they do it, it's not the highest lever opportunity for you to get better at your fitness by directly copying somebody that's got, a way different training age, a way different goal. Like most professional sports that are like doing, making millions of dollars, their number one goal is to not get injured so that they're still making money on the field.
Yeah,
There's a performance aspect, but they're not trying to blow out their back doing a squat. Like there's a big difference between that and powerlifting and, endurance athlete. Like don't just blindly copy stuff, even if it's within the same sport. There's different levels. Um, and it takes some, you got to look at it case by case. It's not a cookie cutter approach.
yep, that super well said. So, yeah, that's the last one and one of the ones that gets me the most.
I got one more bonus thing with this.
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of said it with like lever stuff and weird social media. I think kind of going back to the thing we started with, you got to be careful with social media here too, because like weird and novel stuff,
Yes,
it
great
it
one.
shows really well on social media, and going against the grain gets you a lot of views and gets them like ad dollars, blows up their account
Making
engagement.
inflammatory claim, like,
Right.
the inherent nature of social media is the more inflammatory a claim you can make, the more engagement you get, the more you're rewarded as the quote unquote influencer, like purely like from a monetary perspective.
Right.
Yeah, you have to be super careful.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Liver King's the number one example of that is like I just be careful. Have a lens of looking at stuff. And some people are there like to scam you or to, just get your engagement and eyeballs. And then like usually the boring stuff will have, 25 likes and be like, make sure you're lifting consistently 3 to 5 times a week for a long period of time, hitting your big compound movements. It's like nobody cares about that, but that's like probably the best thing you could be doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like, or the like, I know there's influencers with millions of followers just because they, say seed oils are evil,
Yeah.
right? And I think you just have to, at least when you're trying to figure out what works for you and parse through all the information in the world, usually kind of middle of the road, the claim, you can trust it a little bit more because that person is clearly not trying to like leverage inflammatory remarks to grow their fame or notoriety.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone like Liver King's making these crazy claims, like you need to be eating raw organ meat 5 times a week
Yeah.
in order to be healthy, or if you go within 100 yards of a seed oil, you're going to get cancer. Like those are the kind of claims where you should really be uh, questioning the validity and doing your research. So I think that's a great place for us to leave it, is like as you're parsing through this information, like the more inflammatory and outlandish or like one trick fix
Yeah.
the claim seems to be, you should question it more rather than lift train consistently, eat protein, and sleep well.
Yeah. That's a great, yeah. That's a great way to end it. There's one last thing, Max. I
Yeah.
want to ask you. Um, I want to do like a what's your favorite book right now? What are you reading? What's or maybe your favorite book within the last year or so? I feel like having a good list of books here would be good.
Are we
And I'm
going like
curious,
self help or are we going like entertainment?
however you want to take it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say my favorite like self help book, one I've gone back to multiple times. I've read it probably 4 or 5 times now. I think we've talked about it on this podcast. It was actually one of the books that I'd say made the biggest impact on my college wrestling career, is Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
Okay,
Add that to your reading list.
nice.
I think it's written through the eyes of an elite gymnast, so it's very applicable to athletes. But I think just the teachings in that are super applicable to life.
Yeah,
And then pure entertainment, the Red Rising series,
you tell me about that. I gotta check it out.
sci-fi. Not like it's super like masculine and violent. It's definitely
I
not like
promise, it's a really manly book.
it is, but everyone would love it.
Okay,
I would say that series is awesome.
nice.
Probably sound like a nerd saying that, but try it. Just try it.
Just try it. I like it.
What about you? What do you got right now?
Yeah, the one book that I just immediately comes to mind, that I read probably last year, but, is, Influence. I don't know if you've ever seen this book, but it's written by, like, a neuroscientist, and, like, honestly, a friend of ours gave it to Chloe as, like, a birthday gift because she's, studying neuroscience, and I ended up reading it before she did, and it's just super interesting, like, especially with the amount of social media and just advertising we have in our face all the time, just kind of the social psychology of what's going on when stuff's happening and how different like it plays out in everyday life. Like there's so many different parts of that book that are just so well written. That yeah, I just highly recommend that book. It's a great book. It's like it was an interesting read. Most self-help like books where you're learning stuff I feel like is
Yeah,
very
it can be dry.
dry. But this was like it was a page turner. Like it felt like I was reading, Red Rising or something, Max.
All right, I'll try it out.
My brother has a book, but when I get it back, I'll give it to you.
All right,
All
deal.
right. Sweet. All right. Well, those are our 5 freaking myths and check out some books.
Done.